In a world overrun with the fake, delusional, and disingenuous, he stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's going on, folks? I know I've been down for a little while. I apologize. Excuse me. Work's getting a little hectic. As you probably know, the COVID numbers are headed back skyward. So, got to do what we got to do. Got to work the day job. So, thank everybody for sticking with me and enjoying the content. I appreciate everything, and please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Today I wanted to cover something that I think is kind of unprecedented. I mean, I haven't seen it. In my lifetime, I don't think my father saw anything like this either. I'll have to ask him, but we're starting to see, due to this misinformation campaign, a number of military personnel who are opting to be forcibly extracted from the military as opposed to taking mandatory immunizations. I myself used to serve in the military, so if any of you guys have, you know that when you come in, you are subjected to a number of immunizations. And upon each deployment, you are subjected to quite a few more immunizations for your protection. So that's been going on forever. It's always been a requirement. You know that before you go in. You sign up for that, but we see people due to their political leanings are starting to try to absolve themselves from their responsibility as military personnel. It's foolish. You're losing all your benefits. You're losing all the reasons that make it worth going into the military in the first place. Not to mention your status as an honorable individual. You come out with nothing. People look at you like you're crazy. Unless you got a good setup with whatever political party that's supporting you not getting immunizations. Then you're going to be out here trying to make it on your own. And a lot of these guys, unfortunately, that's going to be a difficult situation. So let's move on with the story here. And this is just one of the stories. This is the main story. The other one is I find a little bit, more intriguing because the people in question are even more professional with regard to their expertise in warfare than the average soldier or sailor or airman / woman. Our story says more than 100 Marines discharged for refusing COVID vaccinations as troops across the services face disciplinary actions. Okay. The Army said it has reprimanded more than 2,700 soldiers and will begin the discharge proceedings in January, while the Air Force has discharged at least 27 members. Okay, that's not not really a significant amount. Well, I mean, for the Army, 2,700 folks, that's quite a bit. Marine Corps, a lot less. That's a good thing. Let's move on and take a look at the articles here. All righty. So I guess we'll start out with the Stars and Stripes one. This one talks about the federal hearings beginning in Navy SEALs challenge to Defense Department's vaccine mandate. This is interesting. Like I said, I mean, these guys are operators. They are highly trained individuals, and you just don't see this in these types of soldiers. So, like I said, the propaganda is taking root, and we are just beginning to see its detrimental effects. People better start trying to learn from propaganda's effects from history in the past, because you are going to see it here on our shores, I fear. So let's start out here. Fort Worth, Texas Tribune. News service. Federal hearing is scheduled Monday in Fort Worth for several U.S. Navy SEALs and other naval special warfare personnel who filed a lawsuit against the Biden administration and the Department of Defense for their refusal to grant religious accommodations for COVID-19 vaccine mandates. The First Liberty Institute filed the lawsuit in November on behalf of 35 enlisted service members who say their rights have been violated and the mandate is unlawful. We saw something similar with the New York police officers who basically tried to use the same exemptions. And like I said, this is a political tactic used by these people. There is no religious exemption that you can use to get around these vaccinations. If that's the case, if you had such an exemption, you would have never gotten into the military in the first place, because these questions are asked. So these people are trying to basically backtrack and prevent taking the vaccination out of fear and out of ignorance. If they would just take the time to go ahead and educate themselves as far as what they're taking, then I don't think that we would see this. But I don't know. I'm beginning to think that the damage has already been done. And even the people who are telling these people this information don't even believe it themselves. I mean, 98% of Fox's personnel were vaccinated, even while they were telling the public not to be vaccinated and that masks weren't needed. But they're protecting themselves, but they're telling the public that they shouldn't protect themselves and telling them to not believe in science and all of these other fiascos that are going on. We're seeing that time and time again. You seeing Sean Hannity and all these other guys basically saying one thing, and then when you get their private text, and everything that they're discussing, their discussions with the president and whatnot, they're saying something totally different. So here you have a bunch of people lying to the public and causing mayhem, and there are no repercussions, and that's the bigger question that we need to ask ourselves. I mean, what kind of society are we in where we are allowing people to basically yell fire in a public place, like a theater, which we would allow, but we're allowing these people to go out and basically lie to the public when they take oaths to basically support and defend, the Constitution and to protect the public. And they are the ones who are creating laws, not for themselves, but for the good of the country. But we're not seeing that. We're seeing these people doing things for their best interest and not for the public good. So we're going to have to start asking ourselves some really tough questions. And I fear that we may not have the resolve necessary to weather the coming storm. But let's move on here. Okay. All righty. All right. The hearing for a preliminary injunction is Monday morning at the Eldon B. Mahan Federal Courthouse in Fort Worth. The hearing is in Fort Worth because at least one of the enlisted service members is in Tarrant County. The majority of the plaintiffs are Navy SEALs, according to the lawsuit. The First Liberty Institute is a nonprofit interest law firm based in Plano and one of the largest legal organizations in the nation dedicated to defending religious freedom for Americans. I wonder if they're going to use those same religious freedoms to, not work on Sunday, and, I guess they'll just not, not invade countries on Sunday, and, not train, and, all those, exemptions as well. I wonder if they'll jump out for that too. They're not doing it for the, for the public out here. We have to work on weekends. If I tried to get a religious exemption to try to be off, I'd lose my job. I've seen, plenty of people in my occupation who've lost their jobs just for trying to be off on Sunday. So, they pick and choose, what they want to jump on and what they don't want to protect in the name of religious, liberty, Okay. 9 U.S. senators, including Ted Cruz, and 38 U.S. United States representatives have filed a federal court document in support of the plaintiff's motion for a preliminary injunction. The enlisted service members object to the vaccine mandate based on their religious beliefs, as the plaintiffs are members of various denominations. Okay. I didn't look up the denominations, but I only know of maybe one that doesn't support vaccinations. I mean, and even the Amish now are starting to get vaccinations because of some of the diseases that are starting to crop up in their community due to them not allowing their members to be vaccinated. So, I mean, the evidence is overwhelming on what's going to happen if you don't take these vaccinations. And we're not, I'm not going to even go there. But the evidence is clear as far as the safety of these vaccines, as far as the need for these vaccines, especially if you're going to be in a military force, and especially if you're going to be in a barrack situation or a mass birthing situation. So, this is a measure that's been taken for the longest with the military, and the military has always been proactive, even before the general public. So, this is a bit outlandish, and to have all of these representatives coming out and backing this. I mean, they're not even supporting legal precedent that's gone on for hundreds of years. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay, so let's move on. I'm getting on a rant here. Like I said, they're a part of various denominations, but the three main branches of Christianity are Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, and Protestant. The lawsuit states the service members are unable to receive any vaccines due to what they believe and understand is a connection between vaccines and their testing, development, or production using aborted fetal cells. Jesus Christ. Okay. Service members do not object to the safety measures such as wearing masks, mask wearing, physical distancing, regular testing, sick leave, and teleworking. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiffs believe the vaccine mandates violates their rights under the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, the Religious Freedoms Restoration Act, and the Administrative Procedure Act. Well, first of all, none of that applies to you when you're in in the military. And I hope they know that, but none of that applies to you. You serve at the pleasure of the government to maintain those freedoms for the general public. So yours are secondary, but they don't know that. But I guess they're going to find out. So, President Joe Biden directed on July 29th the Department of Defense and the COVID-19 vaccine to its list of required immunizations for all service members. Weeks later, Navy officials told service members that failure to comply by November the 28th would result in adverse consequences such as court-martial, prosecution, and involuntary separation. The lawsuit noted that military officials have the direction in granting religious accommodations, but in the past 7 years, no religious exemptions from vaccination waivers had been approved for any other vaccines. So there's no precedent for that. And they only went back for 7 years. I can tell you that it goes back way beyond that. Try about 30, 40, 50 years. There's been no exemptions given for that. Okay, some service members noted that there has been retaliation for religious exemption requests according to the lawsuit. Of course they are, because they're disingenuous. And they know better, because every one of those people that are responsible for giving those exemptions have probably been in for close to 20 years. So they know better. So everybody that's in upper management, and I'm saying that with quotes, they've all had all of these immunizations, and they were the first ones to take the immunizations that these other people are trying to get out of. So you think they're going to look at them, in a good light and say, oh yeah, we're going to make sure you get right on out of that. Yeah, we'll get right on that. No, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. So, you guys let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if, you think this is something that has been a thing, for the last 50 years, or if it's something that's just come up as a result of the last administration and Republicans basically making things up and, stoking the fires and creating fear and anxiety where it shouldn't be in the first place. Okay, we'll move on to the next story. We talk about the 103 Marines booted for refusing COVID vaccine as services begin discharges. Okay, now here's a bigger number. Up to 30,000 service members remain unvaccinated and could face the same fate. That's a huge number, y'all. So, when we start talking about 30,000 people, we start talking about, the effects of propaganda being catastrophic, with regard to the military's ability to maintain a certain degree of personnel. Okay. And it's probably tainting the pool out here of people, recruits that they may be able to transcript in order to protect this country in the effect that something comes down. And, these are tense times. You never know when something might pop off. You got China out here, saber rattling. We got a lot of other people saber rattling. We got Russians saber rattling. Everybody's, got their hands on their wallets because, the economy's kind of shaky due to these COVID concerns. We've got a lot of fires out here that could potentially become infernos, that the general public don't keep their eyes on nor their attention. So keep that in mind. Okay. 103 Marines have been discharged for refusing to take the COVID vaccine. The Marine Corps said Thursday, as the military services have begun to discharge a pool of possibly as many as 30,000 active duty service members who still refuse to be vaccinated, even after multiple opportunities to do so, past vaccination deadlines. In late August, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered mandatory COVID vaccines for all U.S. military personnel. Shortly after Austin made the COVID vaccine mandatory, the military services quickly set up its own deadline dates and warned service members that they could face discharge unless they were vaccinated, which is in line with the Pentagon's stance that choosing to remain unvaccinated is a violation of the law ordered from Austin. While the percentage of vaccinated active duty personnel in each service is at 95% or higher, the number of unvaccinated personnel is close to 30,000. Earlier this week, the Air Force became the first to make public that it had followed through on a warning announcing that 27 airmen had received administrative discharges. Wow, they went soft on them. Administrative discharges. Oh, okay. But that's the Air Force. I can tell you the others they're not gonna be as soft on them. They're gonna smash them. They're gonna make an example out of these guys in the worst way because they have to. Because if they don't, bigger numbers will bail on them. Okay, so according to the latest numbers provided by the Air Force and the Navy, 7,000. Okay, we got bigger numbers now. 7,365 airmen and 5,472 sailors are unvaccinated, either refusing the vaccine outright or awaiting the process of request for administrative, medical, or religious exemptions. The Marine Corps said Thursday that 95% of its active duty force of 182,500 Marines had received at least one COVID vaccine shot, the lowest percentage among the military services. It makes sense. That's usually where I'm just seeing a lot of Marines who are aligning themselves with the previous administration. Let me just say that. Okay. The Marine Corps has approved 1,007 medical and administrative exemptions and is still processing 2,863 of the 3,144 requests made for a religious exemption. Military personnel serving in the United States had already been required to receive 12 vaccines, including those for measles, polio, anthrax, chickenpox, and the flu, in order to serve. Service members assigned overseas were required to receive up to 5 others, like those for yellow fever or encephalitis, depending on which global region they are assigned to, like I told y'all before. And I'm glad I got this article because they're basically laying out all the numerous vaccines that one has to get in order to serve due to the different regions in which you may be deployed. Okay. While the Army announced Thursday that nearly 98% of its 478,000 active duty soldiers had been vaccinated, that means close to 10,000 soldiers are not. The Army said 3,864 soldiers have refused the vaccine outright, while an additional 6,263 are awaiting the process of their request for an exemption. The majority of the service members who remain unvaccinated have sought religious exemptions, but none of the services has yet to approve an exemption on religious grounds, because there is none. And they are not going to show their hand as far as what they're going to do, but I'm thinking they're going to smash them. They're going to have to. It's either they run the military or these people run the military. And I can tell you, they didn't give us any options. And when I was in, either you take it or you don't. I've had people who refused, and it didn't go so well. Let's just say they got them anyway. Okay. The majority of service members who remain unvaccinated have sought religious exemptions, and none of the service members has yet to. Okay. The defense authorization bill passed by Congress this week guarantees that service members who are kicked out of the military for refusing the vaccine will receive either. Oh my God, I did not know this. This is unbelievable. Okay, let me read this, guys. Let me read this. The defense authorization bill passed by Congress this week guarantees that service members who are kicked out of the military for refusing the vaccine will receive either an honorable discharge or a general discharge under honorable conditions. This is amazing. They are going to give them honorable discharges for refusing a lawful order. That is amazing. If you guys don't know what the difference between the orders are, you look up refusal of a lawful order in the military, and you look up under the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and you look up what is the penalty for refusing a lawful order under UCMJ. Matter of fact, we may just do that. You know what? Let me just do that. Okay, Article 92 defines disobeying a direct order as 3 types of offenses: violation or failure to obey a lawful general orders or regulations, failures to obey other lawful orders, or dereliction of duty. Article 92 charges are common in many procedures. Okay. Okay, Article 92 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice makes it a crime to disobey a lawful military order or regulation. You can be considered to be in violation of Article 92 if you intentionally violate or fail to follow an order. This means you can be guilty under Article 92 for an intentional or negligent act. Okay? Let's see. Okay, let's look at the minimum punishment. Okay, conviction of a violation or a failure to obey other lawful order carries the punishment of a bad conduct discharge, forfeiture of all pay and allowances, and confinement for up to 6 months. That's at the minimum, okay? That is at a minimum. And with that bad conduct discharge, you get no benefits. No benefits. So they just basically gave these people an out. So not only did they allow them, I can't tell you guys how unprecedented this is. This blows my mind. And some of you guys, some of you ex-military guys, you guys can hit me up in the comments too also. But this is amazing. This blows my mind. Okay. Let's read that again. The defense authorization bill passed by Congress this week guarantees the service members who are kicked out of the military for refusing the vaccine will receive either an honorable discharge or a general discharge under honorable conditions. Unlike the other services, the Army has decided that it will not discharge soldiers who refuse to be vaccinated. Instead, they will be flagged, cannot be promoted, and will have to leave the Army when their enlistment contract expires. So they'll get their 4 years out of them at the same rank. They will not, won't gain any rank. So they'll be a private for their entire time that they're in for 4 years, which is, wow. That's like staying in the same grade for like 4 years. That's crazy. Okay, flag soldiers who have refused to get the vaccine will have to submit to regular COVID testing, Lieutenant Colonel Terrence Kelly, an Army spokesman, told ABC News. The soldier reporting daily to the same job location will be tested weekly, while those who are teleworking and have to visit their job location will be tested within 72 hours of the meeting or job activity, Kelly said. Which that's going to be that's going to be crazy on them. And I can tell you now, this was based off of Delta. This isn't based off Omicron. Omicron is blazing through the country right now, and I'll be doing a story on that one here as soon as I can get me some time. I gotta sleep sometime. I had to rush on in here and go ahead and crank this one out, and I'm glad I did. So you guys, you let me know, what you guys think about this, because this is crazy. If you know anything about the military, anything about how serious it is for you to refuse to carry out the orders of your superiors. It's a serious deal. I mean, it's not anything to sneeze at. This is crazy. It really is crazy. We are living in unprecedented times, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I guess we will continue to try to crank out this content, and you guys take care of yourselves. Be safe. Happy New Year. Merry belated Christmas. And I guess we're out of here.
You are listening to Abuki Cabal, the analytical savage.
I feel like a